Hi guys, I'm gonna start streaming in a little bit. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes for people to stream in, but if you're coming in, let me know, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the music. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get started. Okay, thank you for the comments, they're so sweet. So I am, let's see, let me share my website. As y'all can see, probably I'm sharing this space with my dog Shadow. He's kind of sleepy, but he likes watching TV. So I thought he would be a good co-host because it's really awkward trying to talk to the camera by yourself. So I'm pretending that I'm talking to him. All right, so this is my website. I'm going to be mostly focusing on the work from this semester, and then I have one campaign from last semester. I'm going to start off with Jackbox. So Jackbox Games is like a fun one. I'll read the write-up to y'all. So party poopers come in all shapes and sizes. Thankfully, there is a singular cure. De-pooping is easy with Jackbox. Gather everyone around and play out the poopers until they're back to their normal selves. So this campaign I did with Emily. This was our last one, our last hoorah of sorts. So we wanted to do something really fun. And everyone kind of knows that whole thing of like when there's a gathering or like a party, like sometimes there's like a lull or an awkward moment, and it, is usually kind of, and we wanted to play on this like kind of funny thing of like poopers, like there's that like flirty guy at the party who's ruining the vibe, or there's like a person who's like refusing to socialize because they're texting or whatever. And so with Jackbox, it's a good thing to use because it's kind of like it gathers everyone together and it's an easy conversation starter. So that was like our whole concept behind like the de-pooping the party. And Jackbox is kind of a fun product, so I wanted to like kind of have fun with it. So let me see. I wanted to read one of these to y'all. So if y'all have ever seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I was kind of riffing off of this. It was kind of a play on like how the narrator talks about certain types of species. So this was, the pre-rolls are descriptions of different kind of poopers. And so this one's called the flirty pooper. And it goes like, two girls are talking at a party, but there's an uncomfy air around them and they've got a lurker. And then the narrator kind of goes, apologies for my terrible accent. The flirty party pooper can be described as an individual who treats your party guests as their own personal contestants on The Bachelor. And then the flirty boy makes a move on one of the girls, and he says something like, "The only way that sweater could look any better is if it were on my bedroom floor." Uh, and the girls do not like this. So the narrator goes, "Oh, but no fear, this is not a permanent ailment, for the perfect distraction can take any flirty pooper out of their Casanova ways." And then a party host goes, "Yo, we're playing Jackbox in the living room." So the girls get an out, they shuffle over to the living room, and then the flirty boy like kind of snaps out of his like playboy ways, and he gets on over, starts playing Quiplash, like uses that flirty wit to like make everyone laugh and not be uncomfortable. The party's back on. So they have successfully depooped the party. And then we have, I won't read these to y'all, but this one is about a corner pooper, a girl who kind of like hides in the shadows of a party. And then we have the musical pooper, where is it? Right here. A guy who takes awkward moments of silence to his advantage and takes that to play his guitar for people who don't want to be listening to that. All right, so the next part of this campaign is the depoop function. If y'all ever played Jackbox before, this is like your little login screen to start playing the games. And so one thing that's kind of hard about Jackbox is there's a little bit of knowledge and know-how that you need to get into it. So that's a barrier to entry. And we wanted this to like be totally eliminated and also like have some fun with it. So party hosts can have this like depoop button that like will automatically like depoop the party by airdropping the Jackbox URL so that everyone like automatically has an in. And it'll make a poopy noise when directing you to the page. And then we also had this like depooping guide, which is just fun. We wanted it to like live on the Jackbox website. And it would just be like a detailed and instructive guide on how to know when you've got a party pooper and like tips on how to use Jackbox to bring them back reality, including like which games work best for like which kinds of people, etc. And then finally, we have these festival sponsorships. And so these will live like, think ACL or Lollapalooza or whatever. You get tired when you're out and about. And when you finally like get to these porta potties, it's usually such a drag in your day. And the copy is very small. But it says like, "Hey, party pooper, if you're feeling pooped, go depoop at our resting area." And so basically it would just be like going along with our campaign. This would be an area where people can like chill out, kind of get all of their needs, get back in their groove so that they can finally like go back to having fun. And my lovely AD, Emily, who's actually streaming right now as well. So if y'all get tired of me, you can hop on over to her stream. She made this diaper fanny pack and poop sunglasses, yeah. That y'all like, we would have like Jackbox gaming competitions and you could win poopy merch at the festival. So yeah, that is my first campaign. I was gonna show y'all. I'm gonna go taking it back to last semester. Norton antivirus. So this, if y'all don't know what Norton antivirus is, it's just a software that you install on your phone or your computer. For this, we focused on the VPN feature, basically like making your, like when you're connecting to a Wi-Fi, it makes it safe so that people can't access your information. The write-up goes, "The world is a happy, friendly place. Birds sing, children laugh, and the hackers hack." Yeah, Norton thinks you should start trusting in your trust issues and start looking into getting a VPN. So for this one, we would kick it off with an experiential Wi-Fi hack. So basically, we would be sponsoring a large-scale public events Wi-Fi, like South by Southwest. So users or people who are attending the event would log on to um, the site, and then they would basically kind of Norton would have access to their information the whole day because they don't have protection using a VPN. So at the end of the day, they would get a almost too friendly reminder about how they loved, how Norton loved getting to know them so well all day. It's meant to be really creepy and like totally supposed to like take you out of your element and make you realize that people can have so much access to your everyday searches and things that you go on the internet when you're using public Wi-Fi. So we think that you should invest in some trust issues. So after this, we would release a national rollout of public Wi-Fi, basically in like hotspots where you're usually looking for public Wi-Fi. So that's like coffee shops or airports, hopefully when life gets back to normal. And so they would kind of serve as like constant reminders that like you shouldn't be trusting like your public browsing. And that would come along in these areas that we release these Wi-Fi hotspots. We would have these out-of-home posters. Some of these lines are: the guy across the coffee shop thinks your niece looks adorable in that new picture of her in the lion costume. Super creepy. And then the explainer copy is: a browse on a public Wi-Fi network without a VPN is like hanging up your family photos in a busy coffee shop. And then a personal favorite headline of mine is: Edwin sitting 2 rows in front of you really thinks you should add a comma after financial. Hopefully getting people to think harder about doing their personal business on a public Wi-Fi network. And then all of this would lead to our microsite. Norton is usually kind of has this rap for being a little bit of a callous brand. There's not too much like fun or personality, and we really wanted to play on the fact that we are like flipping like the trust your trust issues on its head, and we wanted to like flip Norton on its head as well, and create this like mistrust meter where people can like evaluate how unsafe their public browsing is. And so it's meant to be like super light and airy while the messaging is kind of super creepy. And then these digital ads are the same thing. They're kind of a play on like inspirational advertisements. So like in a world where you can be anything, be skeptical. We want people to kind of like see these like kind of ads that are like, oh, like that's nice, but then like you flip it on your head and see that it's actually like trying to get you to mistrust more often. And so, yes. And finally, for this campaign, we have a little video spot. Let me full screen this for y'all.
You know the world can be a scary place, but that's not your world. You're safe. Everyone in your neighborhood is so nice. Now let's just head on over to the local coffee shop with the complimentary Wi-Fi from the barista Joanne. Oh, they stole everything. Now all your $2,000 computer does is play that stupid Rickroll video over and over. Oh gosh, everything you know is a lie. And Joanne makes a really coffee.
So yeah, shout out to Denelli for being my actress in that. And a big shout out to Sue for being my amazing art director on this campaign. And that was Norton. And then, so I'm gonna take y'all through my Durex campaign. So we did this for the DNAD campaign. So my write-up is disabled people often don't see themselves represented in our love stories, and usually they feel left out entirely of the conversation surrounding sex. But they are sexual beings who deserve to be educated, experiment, and be empowered. Most importantly, they deserve to feel good. And so this one I did also with Emily. This is our case study video for that. Let me pop this open.
Good love stories teach us about ourselves and how we love others. But for so many people with disabilities who don't get to see themselves represented, navigating the romantic world can feel a lot like this: feeling awkward, inconvenient, and out of place. Durex strongly believes in liberating good sex for everyone. Introducing Feel Good, a coming of age sex education platform that aims to educate disabled people in different stages of their sex lives. Our education section will focus on giving teenagers the knowledge that was left out from their health classes. Durex will collaborate with Advocates for Youth to generate content specifically for disabled teens. We'll also be releasing Class 101, a visual novel game where users will follow the life of their customizable avatar as they enroll in a sex ed class and start to face a series of romantic choices. Young adults will be invited to explore our experiment section, opening doors to new ways of engaging in disability-friendly sexual activity with suggestions from popular porn stars and influencers. Diving into a more intimate exploration, individuals and couples can fill out a form of their disabilities, kinks, and no-goes, etc., and receive a Kama Sutra made personally for them in their email. Finally, the empowerment page will accumulate everyone's unique coming-of-age stories. Adults can submit, comment, and share their experiences on the page to foster a supportive community on the platform. Education feels good. Experimentation feels good. Empowerment feels good. And the disabled community deserves to feel good.
Yeah, so that was our campaign. And these are some gifts that if that went by too fast, this is the education portion of the site that Emily made these great gifts for. This is the experimentation portion of the site for the young adult range. And then this is the empowerment part of the site. Also, y'all, I keep on forgetting to say this. If you have any questions, I know there's a lag, so I'll try to keep my eyes on the chat. Let me know. And I'm going to go on to my last one that I'm going to show y'all so I don't take up too much time. This one I did with Virginia, who should be, I think she's the last one who's live streaming today, and she's amazing. So you should definitely check her stream out. And so this one was a brief by the United Nations. They asked creatives to come and try to come up with innovative ideas to help keep people in their homes, because as we know, coronavirus is scary, and people need to be thoughtful of others. So we worked on this together, and this is the write-up. The idea that everyone is separated by 7 degrees sounds cool until you're in the midst of a viral pandemic. We wanted to remind others of the effect they can have on the vulnerable populations around them by not staying home. And then after that, we're going to see if they can walk the walk. So this started with a Facebook takeover where at the top of people's Facebook homepages, there would be a, I don't know what to call it, a like little information tab that would say like stay home for me. And it would basically be giving you the ability to mark yourself at risk. And then along with that, you would see how many people in your Facebook friend group have also marked themselves at risk. So this includes people who are immunocompromised, people who are elderly, people who have certain diseases or who live with people who have any of those things. And we just really wanted, sometimes you've heard over and over that you need to keep your circle safe, but we wanted something to be tangible where you could actually see the people around you and how many of those people are actually like at risk for coronavirus, to make it like more real for people. And so along with this, we wanted to do Facebook profile picture filters. Just there, we have like one that's kind of like just original, like I stay home for my at-risk friends. And then the one on the right is like a personal thing, like I am at risk, stay home for me. And then in the middle, we have something where people can like customize. So like personally, I stay home for my grandmother who lives with me and my parents. So I could write that down on my Facebook profile picture. And then the final part of this campaign is it's called Double Donate Daria. And it's for people who, instead of going the extra mile, it's for people who want to stay in the extra mile. And so Facebook would link to this, and then also people would get notifications on their iPhones and Androids, because this would work in collaboration with the health apps on both of the platforms. So basically, people would enter in their geofence quarantine zones. So this includes like their houses, the grocery store that they like to frequent, maybe the running pass that they take, etc. And then, so once they put in those little geofenced areas, they place a monetary bet that they'll stick to those paths until their local stay-at-home order is lifted, or until like they can input a certain date that they personally want to hold themselves accountable for. And then, so basically what this app would do is track your location. And if you step outside of this like geofenced area, you would get a notification letting you know that you broke your bet. It's time to pay the price that you had already bet on, but there's no loss because all of these bets would be going towards the UN's coronavirus relief fund. So basically, if you do step outside of your quarantine zone, you're almost kind of making up for it by donating that money. So yeah. I love you guys. So if you have ever been to any of my previous portfolios, y'all have already seen my NERCS campaign, which was P2, and then my Greyhound campaign, which was P1. Actually, I worked with Vanessa Zielinski and Maya Iwata for both of these campaigns. So if y'all want to look at that, they're on my website. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you. I'm reading your comments and they are so sweet. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Say goodbye to Shadow. Shadow, say goodbye, everyone. Bye, y'all.